Ineos are well in situ at Manchester United and the hard work really starts now. We're talking about the fight for Dan Ashworth as sporting director at the football club. I know what you're all thinking. The title says to Jim Radcliffe's first mistake. Hear me out. Stay in this video and watch it through these first few points that I want to get out there and balance this argument out so people don't think I'm just spinning a negative on it. It is complex, and I'd just like to add a little bit of context to what is going on right now with United, Ineos, Newcastle, Dan Ashworth and everything else in this whole situation right now. Welcome along to the live stream, everybody, and welcome along to anyone who's watching on a video when the live stream is finished and you're watching on YouTube later on as a normal video. Make sure you get your comments in below on that, and obviously if you are live and you're with us right now, get your comments in the comments section. Let me know what you think. Get your points across. You can disagree with my point, you can agree. If you do agree, then make sure you give the video a like. That's fantastic. And make sure you do subscribe if you tune in for the first time. You can share the video as well. That is always nice. Sharing is caring. Hello, everyone. On the Monday after another winning weekend for Manchester United. What a good feeling this is. I'm liking the consistency of these Monday shows, always talking about a United win. We'll see if it's the same this weekend. I'm pretty confident it will be against Fulham. The weekend after, maybe a different ball game altogether when we play City away from home. But hey, let's keep this confidence going. Hopefully we can go into that game and surprise a few people. But right now, the major talking point after the football is done, we may touch right at the end of the show for some people who didn't see anything or had their chance to say and talk about the game yesterday later on in this show. But we're talking Dan Ashworth, the situation with Newcastle right now and everything going on between the two clubs. Let's just update ourselves on everything that has happened over the weekend, because yesterday on Sunday, while the football was going on, apparently Dan Ashworth was with the Newcastle team on Saturday when they played Bournemouth at home. A draw there. Good result for us, by the way. He was with the team beforehand, he was with after, but then let the Newcastle powers that be, the owners, the directors know that he wanted to leave his role at Newcastle and join Manchester United as sporting director. He let Newcastle know. It's been well reported now. There's fact number one. He has then been put on gardening leave by Newcastle. That's fact number two. We know that. Now, I'm trying to find out. I'm sure everyone wants to know what the contract says, what the clauses are, what the amount of gardening leave time is, how much compensation is set in the contract if he wants to terminate his time at Newcastle early, which he is doing. Are Newcastle going to hang around and pay the wages for the amount of time that gardening leave is? The reports are right now that United are going to be negotiating now. And there's not actually been a formal approach from United either yet in the situation. It's just that Dan Ashworth has been speaking with Ineos behind closed doors without Newcastle's permission, because he's just come and told Newcastle right now. Now, there's no issue in doing that. Everyone does it. You can talk to people. You can talk whoever you want. If you've got an offer on the table there that looks better for you, then there you go. You accept it, and you have to then take charge of the situation yourself, which Dan Ashworth is, and has let Newcastle know exactly what's going on and what's on his mind and where he wants to be. Isn't at Newcastle. His time there now is done. He's on gardening leave. He will be conducting no more business for Newcastle as of yesterday. Now, the conversation moves on. Are we expecting an approach from Manchester United now? Yes, we have to. It has to be quick. It has to be sharp. And this is where this argument starts for me as maybe a mistake. I just want to balance both sides of this out with what Sir Jim has done and how he's approached this. Now, we know there is no set rule in negotiations. There is no set rule in business. Everyone negotiates behind closed doors. Like I said, everyone negotiates behind probably their manager's back, the company's back who they're working for right now. We've got headhunters who go out looking for the best in class. Manchester United have done this, and they want Dan Ashworth. Now, with Manchester United not making a move or not going direct to Newcastle, and like I said, you just don't expect that these days anyway. They've sounded out Ashworth to see if he wants the role first of all. Fair enough, no issue with that. And now they have to go to Newcastle. Now, the issue I've got with it, mistake is actually coming out and saying they're going to take Manchester United to the top, which they want to do, which is great for us to hear. But I just don't know if they thought about the situation with a Saudi-led ownership. They are more powerful than anyone else in this league, probably in large portions of the world. Their wealth and their power. They're a group that are just not used to losing. And not used to losing means that them now thinking that they're going to take Newcastle back to the top. And straight away, within the first couple of years, Manchester United, the so-called fallen giant, has come in and has taken away one of their prize assets, which is Dan Ashworth. The whole project, the leader of the project behind the scenes, the head of recruitment, is gone. They're not going to take this lying down. Have Ineos sort of jumped in on this here and thought this is just going to be a smooth ride? They've come out and said that Manchester United need to be hard negotiators. What will that say if we end up bending over and paying stupid amounts of money for them? On the other hand, they can't really back out of this now either, Ineos. Dan Ashworth has committed his future to Manchester United. Now, when we see him, that's another conversation. We'll get into that next. But right now, they have to back themselves here. And I think they've sort of backed themselves into a corner with the way they've approached this. Yes, the argument for Newcastle not wanting to just pay Dan Ashworth to do nothing forever and a day comes into it. I understand that. And that counters it. And I think that's where Ineos will then negotiate in on this deal. Like, do you really want to be paying for someone who's doing nothing for this long? Surely you want to move on. Effectively, if they're looking for a replacement for Dan Ashworth, then they're going to be employing two people. Because when someone else comes in, they have to pay them, and they're still paying probably more to Dan Ashworth for doing nothing. So I think that's the angle that Ineos will go in on. But then again, this doesn't count for anything really with the Saudis because they've got absolute fortunes. So they can just sit there and go, power out, we don't care. We'll employ two people. No problem for us. You can sit and wait. We're not going to enhance one of our rivals just for the sake of a better compensation deal coming in. And then Ineos really are stuck. Gardening leave, which is going to take Dan Ashworth into a minimum next year, 2025. And realistically, then you're looking at, well, what's going to happen in that time? Or what water has gone under the bridge in other aspects of Manchester United and how the club is running? Can we afford to not have a director of football in place with everyone else that's been brought in? This was built as the dream team. And I think ultimately that Ineos are going to end up paying a fortune for Dan Ashworth. And it will show commitment and probably turn this into a positive. It's like, we're stuck in a corner. What we're going to do? We're going to put our money where our mouth is and invest in the football side of things at United. And you know what? I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with that. It's going to look like we've been taken to the cleaners. But if they're willing to just wipe their feet with that and just go, well, we're not bothered. We want the best. We're paying for the best. He said money's not an issue, Sir Jim Radcliffe. And then at the same time, the argument of United needing to be hard negotiators. They're willing to wait. Are we willing to wait? I don't think United are willing to wait for Dan Ashworth. I don't think we can afford to wait for Dan Ashworth. So what happens if we do stand our ground and Dan Ashworth is on gardening leave? The whole plan is being put in place, but then the football on the pitch goes south again. And then Ten Hag ends up leaving. Does the plan then all have to change all of a sudden? Another manager comes in? Everything just moves. Every single day, every week, every month in football. It never stays still. And I don't think you can plan without someone being in situ in a job that far down the line. Obviously, you can put your system in place and everything like that. But when it comes to Manchester United right now, and yes, we may scrape in. I think we will get into the Champions League now. The way things are looking, it's looking good. And that gives us a bit of time because the finances are there as well. We can ill afford to be out of the Champions League. The whole preparation and the whole look of everything is the issue that I've got with it. How different is it going to be when Dan Ashworth does walk through the door finally if we accept that he's going to be on this long period of gardening leave? I just feel like Ineos are realising what they've taken on very quickly. And the fact that they managed to get Barada through the door in stealth mode with no one knowing, and that deal done and dusted with statements from both clubs, they did exceptional with that. But they set a bar when doing that as well. And now the media have gone into overdrive because we're hearing, it's like at the bottom of your screen there, in terms of the up-to-date tweet and everything. We're now hearing from lots and lots and lots of other media sources, rather than just the usual clientele with everything that's going on at Manchester United. They cannot afford, the media this is, to allow things to slip through the net. They need to be all over it for their own livelihoods. And it's quite sad, but that's just the way that world works. So everyone now, all eyes are on Manchester United. And obviously this has been well covered. I mean, the main coverage for Dan Ashworth started in December, and it's been well written, it's been well documented that Manchester United are interested in Dan Ashworth. Again, it's not so much leaks coming out of the club, but it's contacts within Manchester United. You can't get away with anything. I think Ineos are realising this now, and Ineos are in a position where they have to be very careful and keep things probably a lot closer to the chest. And until they've got that team in place, I don't think that is going to be possible. But this is what they're now realising, and the world they're moving into in terms of Manchester United, the juggernaut, the biggest club in world football. It's like, Jesus, through the media alone and the reporting and everyone being wound up. You only had to listen to Eddie Howe talking the other day with all the news and speculation going on, quote unquote. I expect something to be happening this week now. They're hearing it through sources of the media and everyone talking on X, social media, YouTube and everything like that. Newspapers, they're hearing it all through that. They had no approach from Manchester United. It's just going to rile them. You know it is. And like I said at the top of this show, they're not going to be bothered about standing their ground, Newcastle. Their stubborn ownership model. I mean, they were turned away at one point. They came back again and made it happen. I think it will happen. I think United, though, ultimately will pay the price. I think we will pay the price. And if Ineos are happy to do that, I'm happy for them to go ahead and do that. I don't care as long as we get the best in. Investment into the right areas. It's like, for instance, if you were going for Jude Bellingham and they asked for £10 million more at that age, you're taking that gamble. You're going with it, aren't you? You're going to pay the extra money. If you're being offered a Musiala, someone like that, a quality young player, then you're going to pay that little bit more if they ask for it. Because you know you've got future investment. You've got to bring back the actual look on this from what Roy Keane said as well. And it's an interesting one. And I promise you I'm not being negative on this. I'm just balancing the argument as to where Manchester United are at. And it's brilliant to see. And I love it. And I'm all on board with it. But it's like Roy Keane said, do you have to question the man's loyalty? Dan Ashworth, he's been at Brighton for what? Barely a couple of years. He's not even done 2 years yet at Newcastle properly. And he's left and he's left and he's left. What for, say, Real Madrid come in or Barcelona come in for him and they want a piece of him? Is he going to jump ship again? This is like the recruitment of the recruitment team is what I'm talking about, and where you have to be very, very careful. And I think that's where Ineos just have to just watch what they're doing. I don't think it's a mistake in bringing Ashworth in. I don't want that to get mixed up in the message, but I feel like the approach, and I'm not going to call it arrogance of Ineos. I think they should be. I think they should, being with Manchester United, actually look at this and go, we're going to have to probably pay a little bit more and accept that. We are going to ruffle feathers if we want to get to the top. And that's what they're doing now. It's good. And that is that's the top line of all of this. It is good news for United. And the way we're moving is definitely the right way. But I just feel like they're probably learning themselves fast what it means to be owner or part owner of Manchester United. And I feel like this is going to move on very, very quickly into an area where negotiations and their whole rule of hard negotiators are going to be really tested, and tested to the max with the Saudi ownership at Newcastle, because they've got more money than anyone. And if they're willing to bring someone else in and just go, well, we'll swallow Dan Ashworth's wages, we're not bothered, we'll bring someone else in. I'm not sure in terms of financial fair play where that lies, because it's investment into the infrastructure and where the rule is on that one in financial fair play, and if that helps them, because we know that they're tight on that. But if they're not bothered about investing into the infrastructure and it's not going to affect financial fair play, they're just going to sit on it and go, we're more powerful than you, we don't care, we'll just let him sit out until 2025. What are you going to do then? And believe me, people will be all over Dan Ashworth for anything that's going on underhand behind the scenes while he's on gardening leave. It's Manchester United. Like I said, you cannot take a chance being Manchester United on anything like that happening. We've said it on air, how important is gardening leave? What rule is gardening leave? Who can he talk to? What can he do? What role can he do while he's just sat there at home? If he's being paid by Newcastle and he gets caught doing anything for Manchester United, then it's probably big, big trouble. And it's not the way that Ineos want to be moving, and not the start they want to be making while owning Manchester United. That pretty much is my sort of argument on the mistake, possibly. It's not so much a mistake, it's more of a going in and not realising what is about to happen, I think we'll end up paying decent compensation and this will be resolved. But what it will do is also set the tone for everything else. And it's good that Ineos are saying, and Sir Jim and Sir Brailsford are saying, that we are not going to be taken to the cleaners. We're going to be hard negotiators. But just be prepared to not get certain targets if that is the way you want to approach things, because there will be someone else that wants to pay more. The recruitment side of things and finding these right players, and this is why I'm convinced the days of the big 70, 80 million pound signings are gone for United. We'll be the ones making the astute signings, and they just need to be a little bit careful with how they approach it and how sort of bullish they are in doing so. Because I feel like we will come unstuck in certain situations, we will. And I feel like this one, I think it'll be the first sort of one that where you could say they probably will end up paying more than what they wanted to. But for them, if Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe's willing to spend his money, pay that extra bit just to get the right men in charge and running Manchester United, then fair enough. We move forward with that and everybody's happy. Thank you for the 100 likes, guys, already. Absolutely brilliant. Keep liking the video, guys. Make sure you do subscribe if you are tuning in for the first time as well. I'm loving all of your input at the moment, guys. I've seen loads of comments coming up there as well. Keep them coming, everyone. Make sure you do download the SofaScore app as well. Drop in the description there, click on the link, and get the best sporting football app there is out there. Ranked in the top 20 right now on the App Store. They are our sponsors and our partners here on FUTV. More on that a little bit later on. Moving on to the comments section, and let's see what you guys are saying. I see loads of comments coming in. Sorry if I can't get through all of these. Make sure you do drop your comments in on the video when it goes out on YouTube after the live is finished as well, everybody. I'm just going to randomly stop it in the live section right now. Chris says, if Imagine it still goes on the books and Newcastle are up against PSR, so I doubt they can afford paying two people for one position. I don't know if it does go on the books. It's the thing. It's the infrastructure side of thing. I don't know if it's different to the playing staff, because the new rules coming in is all about agents, transfer fees and wages. They don't mention anything else or other rules at the football club. So it's a sticky area and we'll have to look into that. I will look into that a little bit more as well. 20 million, says Chris. Yeah, why not? Big changes are needed for your club, mate. Oh, he thinks United should just go and pay it. I think this is it. I feel like everyone's in a position like, well, put your money where your mouth is. You've done a lot of talking. Everyone wants to see the walk-in as well. So I don't think United fans are concerned about how much Ineos spend in getting Dan Ashworth. I think it will be a sign and it will be a big statement from Ineos to the start of owning Manchester United, or 25% of the club, and a message to the fans as to say, look, we're not messing around. You want football coming first. We've had to pay a bit more. You should be happy with that. I think we will be. I mean, honestly, right now, if United have to go out, if Ineos go out and spend upwards of 15 million, even if it is 20 million to get Ashworth through, what is that man going to save us down the line? All I'm saying is be careful. If he wants to jump ship again, what we're going to do then? Like Roy Keane said, you got to question his loyalty as well in all of this. So look at it from both angles. There's two arguments there. I feel like Manchester United, though, and Ineos, I think knowing how this has gone down, the contract that Dan Ashworth will get at United will be, it'll be one of them solid, airtight, unbreakable contracts or something along them lines where they will be very much compensated if he did want to do that again. I don't think he will. This is the pinnacle. It doesn't get bigger than bringing Manchester United back from the brink of despair to where we are right now. So to where we want to be, sorry. And I think that is that's the big law of this job for Dan Ashworth as well. So Jim is another Glazer. We will see in the long run, says Stephen. I don't agree with that, Stephen. I don't. I can see your face, but I just don't. I think he's looking at this different. I mean, he's not got many years left, man. The man's gone past 70, 71. There's no future in it. He wants to see United be successful, and he's going to invest what he's got and what he's earned over his whole lifetime. Get it paid. It's a small investment into the future that will pay off massively. This is, I think, where everyone's at with Manchester United and the fans anyway. It's like, well, if it's a right investment, then we're not bothered about spending the extra bit of money. That's where I think the fan base is right now. I think like we're looking to see if he's willing to go that extra yard. And if he is, then I think he gets more fans on board with it. I do. Money is not an issue for their owners. They can bring in someone easily to do the job. They won't want their summer transfer plans known to United for any sum of cash. Reputation is more important. That's a good point as well, Gary. I mean, Eddie Howe was talking about all of the ins and outs of Newcastle and what Dan Ashworth knows, all of the details of signings, prospects, youth system, players, and possible signings for the future. All of that is common knowledge, and he's got access to that. But apparently that has been blocked now. He has completely finished at Newcastle. According to reports I've seen, Ornstein, Romano, everyone talking about this. The Telegraph, the Independent, the Mail, everyone has been all over this. And after what happened yesterday and when Dan Ashworth told Newcastle, it was shut down completely. Access denied. Hence the thumbnail. Access denied on his computer. Access denied for Manchester United to get in Ashworth in. You've got to pay the penalty. You've got to put in that password. And the password is Wonga. Give me plenty of it. That's where the Saudis and Newcastle are hitting Manchester United. Are we willing to pay it? We wouldn't have been before. But Ineos is the difference. That's the difference in any deal for United now. Ineos. How much are they willing to pump into United to make them better? This is a small investment, I feel. Even if it is that amount of money, is Dan Ashworth as important as a player? I think he is if it brings in better players, which I know he can do. His main role is going to be head of recruitment. It's different paying a lot for Ashworth than overpaying for players. That COG is essential. That COG is essential. Sorry, COG. I thought you was abbreviating something then. Sorry, mate. Our exec salaries taken into account for financial fair play calculations. Does financial fair play count towards SD, sporting director, in how much can be spent? Well, the new rules are, and this is where it's a sticking point, maybe Newcastle will look at this and go, well, we're not bothered. We can balance that because there's nothing that says anything about directors or sporting directors in terms of financial fair play. So that could be something, an angle where they could sit tight and go, we're not really bothered. Prashant says, Murto and Ashworth can support Ashworth with the gardening leave. Murto and Ashworth can support Ashworth with the gardening leave. Okay. That kind of didn't make sense, but hey. Is Ashworth... if Ashworth is a good investment, why wouldn't we pay? I suggest Ineos pay whatever is billed and wait for the outcome from Ashworth's work. Yeah, Mangala CO, I agree with you completely there. I think that's what will happen. I think there will be a bit of a negotiation. Maybe it won't be 20 million. If it's a bit less, I mean, I was like blown away by directors being worth 7 million. There's obviously, they are like the talk of the town, aren't they? Sporting directors at the moment, and an essential cog, like the messages have said, they're in the way that a football club is run these days. It's scary, but this is football now. This is the difference. Manchester United have never had to bleeding pay for one, but now we are, because all of a sudden we're just seeing how poor United were run. I think Gary Neville summed it up nicely yesterday after the Luton game, where he said nothing major is going on at United. This is just normal football business and football structure that every other club has apart from United. So United being blown away and fans being excited by normal things being done in our football club, i.e. the right people being appointed in certain positions, is how far behind we have fallen and how the standards have fallen at the football club. It's just how everyone does it, except United. Scandalous. Absolutely scandalous. If we get fourth place, we will take any difference. If Nice finish second, another great show, Adam, Kaz, and the team. Thank you very much, Lee. Let me just read that again. If we get fourth place, we will make... will it make any difference if Nice finish second? Sorry, I read that wrong now. That's why I read it back, Lee. No. There will be a loophole. There is that rule that UEFA have got in. It's a very light rule where the dual ownership models of football clubs, say for instance, if Manchester United owning Nice and Ineos owning Nice and Manchester United, or part ownership of Manchester United, both getting the Champions League, only one can qualify. Well, there's dual ownerships at Aston Villa and at Brighton, and are both playing in European competitions. City will have the same issue this season as well. UEFA will not stop Manchester United, Manchester City, anyone who's big and brings them money playing in any European competition. There's not a chance in hell. They need them clubs to make their money. And this is why, I said it all along, why City got away with what they did. Because money exchanged hands. I know it's quite controversial, but I know you're also not bothered about me saying that, because you can't see any other reason why the way that financial fair play and the allegations and sanctions that UEFA brought on City were just brushed away, and it just went south very quickly. Very, very quickly. He went on a rant last night saying, how can people come out and call us lucky? His channel from Lucky... Oh, sorry, Kaz is talking about numpties again. Never mind. Ashworth seen in B&Q buying wheelbarrow and spade and gardening gloves. I knew that comment was coming at some point in the show. I really did. Saudi got money, but Newcastle haven't. Ineos got money, but United haven't. Oh, United have. That's the difference. United have. We just don't spend it well. Ineos are bringing their power and money to United, and the money that United have got and what we generate revenue-wise, and using it better. That's where we're at with it. Cheers for over 150 likes, guys. I love that. Keep it coming. Let's smash that like mark, and let's keep sharing the video, and obviously do subscribe as well if you are tuning in for the first time. We're talking Dan Ashworth and Ineos getting ahead of themselves, or are they just backing themselves? That's the debate today. So Jim is a minimum owner at Manchester United. Manchester United do it's fine. He just at issue if he owes 51%. Sorry, that just did not make sense. A few typos in that one there, buddy. That's from Trishan, sorry. Ed says, we are paying for him because he is breaking a contract. Newcastle could lose more than 20 million with no Dan Ashworth. It's that amount, what they could lose. It's how you break it down, isn't it? You could say they're going to lose all of his qualities of bringing in the best players as well. It's more than 20 million. It's more. It goes up and up and up, no matter how you look at it. And they're going to want to take Manchester United to the cleaners for taking away one of their major cogs in their machine and how that club is run. So, yeah, you've got to expect this sort of outcome. And I think Ineos right now, it's all eyes on them. What are you going to do next? Dan Ashworth's put his tuppence in. He's put his neck on the block. He's left Newcastle now. He's on garden leave official. It's time for United to up their movement and make that move official with Newcastle. And then we'll see how much compensation is exchanging hands. And we'll see very, very quickly how much intent Manchester United have in trying to get these sort of deals done and this deal done for Dan Ashworth. We knew there was going to be changes at United with Ineos coming in, and you can bet that all their plans were in place before they took over. This is the thing, isn't it? Kaz was talking to me before. It's like, surely someone like Sir Jim Radcliffe, and it is true, and I believe that this is true as well. He would have known the backlash that was coming. He would have known that Newcastle were going to play hardball with Dan Ashworth. He would have known that United would probably have to spend a little bit more money. I feel like in conversation with Dan Ashworth, Ineos have asked him what his contract is and what the payout is, compensation-wise, what the garden leave is, what comes about if he wants to terminate his contract. They would have done all the homework and knew what was coming. We've been speaking to him for 3 months now and doing this and making sure it's right. So I feel like the groundwork has been done, and as soon as contact is officially made, I think they'll be looking to rectify it quite quickly. What they don't know is, though, how the Saudi ownership model at Newcastle is going to react to it when United do make contact. Are they going to really see their ass and just go, no, we're digging our heels in. We're going to make this incredibly difficult for you. Or are they going to realise that, you know what, this is how things work in football. We're going to have a man there we're paying a wage to that's doing absolutely nothing for us, never mind anyone else. And we just need to move forward. Can we say this is a positive for Newcastle? Because Manchester United are looking for the best and they've gone to Newcastle for their man. Can they say that that's a positive for them, that they are tapping into Newcastle's model, like City would? Like City said in their statement when they came out with Berardi, they said, look, we're taking this as a positive and a compliment that Manchester United are looking to play catch-up, and by doing that, they're taking one of our main players, and that's what we look at in this whole process. It's like we knew we were doing the right thing, and people are tapping into us to try and catch up. Are Newcastle going to be looking at it the same way? Yeah. I think that is a balance to it as well. I think Newcastle will find someone else very quickly, and I think that right now will be going on behind the scenes quite clearly. Never liked this guy when he started at the United Stand. Now I'm a subscriber on his own channel. You doing great, Adam. I never liked this guy when he started at the United Stand. There's a nice message. I don't know why he didn't like me there, but I'm thinking you just like in my honesty, mate. That's what it is. Jamaican gamer. Thank you very much. Love comments like that. Gary Owens says, Newcastle could still insist on a shorter gardening leave plus a large compensation figure. Point is, we could get him, but not till the summer. It's like Berardi, isn't it? It's the same. We're going to have a lot of people in position all of a sudden, very quickly, come the end of this season. Over 600 in the room, guys. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Make sure you give the video a like. We're just coming up to 200 likes right now. And make sure you do share the video as well. Do drop into the description and join our partnership with SofaScore. Best football app out there, guys. Make sure you just click on the description, the link in the description. Updates, score updates, injury news, red card, yellow cards, goals scored, player profiles and stats, and everything you need to your phone. It's free. Just go and download it. It's the best app out there, guys. Trust me on that one. Especially if you are watching this weekend. There's loads of football on this week as well. I had no idea there was so many games this week as well. What have we got now? City are playing tomorrow. I think we've got a game tonight. What is it? Palace and Everton. Liverpool are playing Luton on Wednesday, so they've got their game covered for the Carabao Cup game, which they will fall behind in the fixture list when they play that at weekend to everyone else. So, yeah, it's cramming the games in right now. And it's all good. We like it when there's loads of football on, don't we? Sky are now saying the compo is 10 million. Is it 10 or is it 20? Sky, I would say, are behind everyone else. No disrespect. The journalists doing all of the nitty-gritty and the dirty work are the ones that you need to look at for the definites. I mean, when Ornstein comes out and says something, usually Romano is quite on top of stuff like this as well. And then you can take that as like the gospel, and that's where it's at. I reckon somewhere in between the both. I mean, that's where it's going to be for Dan Ashworth in terms of the compo. If Ineos are serious, they should get it done ASAP, says Wayne. I think they are, and I think they will, Wayne. I really do. We should just pay the compensation. Ashworth is worth the payout. That's definitely always. When you want the best, you pay for the best. That's it. Pay once and not pay 2 or 3 times. That's the saying in life, isn't it? If you want the best, then you've got to go and get the best. You have to pay more, but it'll save you more in the future. That's what it'll be. Manchester United board member Jean-Claude Blanc led the talks with Dan Ashworth. United and Ashworth reached an agreement in principle yesterday afternoon. That's from Miguel Delaney. So more news just dropping every single minute here, guys. So stay tuned. Make sure you are fully notified up. Turn your notifications on. If anything extra does drop, I'll be all over it. I'll be bringing you the updates and the news. But that's where we're at with Ashworth right now. So it looks like it was Jean-Claude Blanc doing his Ineos duties in getting the Ashworth deal over the line, according to Miguel Delaney. Very interesting there. Brailsford did Berardi. Jean-Claude Blanc did Dan Ashworth. It's like they're all trying to top each other, isn't it? It's like, you can do that, I'll do this job. I'm going to show my worth because you've done yours. Speculate to accumulate, says Paul. Rory says from Sky, It is thought Newcastle would ask for more than 10 million should Manchester United want him to start immediately. I reckon if you want him to start immediately, you pay that money. Graham says, my issue yesterday was the game time given to Rasmus, Alejandro and Kobe. All of them are being flogged, especially Rasmus. I disagree, Graham. With the games and the fixtures, 1 game a week, it's not a lot right now. It really isn't. If that's what you mean by that. I don't believe we're overplaying anyone right now. To have a full week's rest in between every single game is more than enough. More than enough. Where are we at? Here. General Foodie says, make sure you hit the subscribe button and give us a like. Yes, please, everybody. We're on the road to 40k. We're moving fast. I really appreciate all of you guys coming in and giving your support to the channel. Pay nothing. Let him sit at home. He could always whisper transfer targets. If we get caught, we're in big trouble doing that one, Sim. And if Ineos want to spend money, then you've got to look at it and go, let them do it. It's for the best interest of the football club. If they want to spend money to get people in, do everything officially, then let's go for it and let's make it happen. Keep getting your comments in, guys. Let me know what you think about everything. What do you think about Sir David Brailsford talking to the players yesterday? I don't know if it's needed. I don't know if it's a big point. I don't think we'll need to... I don't think we'll need that in the future, to be honest. But yeah, he's letting himself know that he's there, and I suppose that's a good thing. Eyes are watching. I think that's more, I would say, the reason for Sir David Brailsford actually communicating with the players, speaking to the players after the game, congratulating the players. It's like, well done, lads, but we are watching. Don't drop your standards. Don't have a second half of the first half moment again. Jesus Christ, that was hard work, wasn't it, yesterday? Wow, like literally, my head was just exploding with how we capitulate the way we do. You seen the show last night, me and Jay, with the breakdown. You see my reaction straight after the game. It was one of like, what the hell? Like, we go from being Harlem Globetrotters, looking like we're going to smash teams to pieces, just gifting 2 goals away all the time. So every time we go 2 goals up, we go, right, stop it, right there. This is a bit weird, isn't it? Maybe we should just let the other team back in again and then make it interesting again. No, carry on. Just carry on scoring. Like, just put the game to bed and give everyone less heart attack moments, because that's what we are. Manchester United, we're just like, oh God, you are just never comfortable, are you? Never ever comfortable watching a Manchester United game. And hey, look, no one's complaining. We've got the wins in the bag that we've needed, and we're looking pretty. We really are right now. Sat there, I'm thinking Chelsea Friday night are at home to Tottenham. If they take points off Tottenham, we beat Fulham, then we're right up in it just before that City game. And the closer we are to everyone before that City game, the better. Because, you know, even if we get beat by City, I don't think anyone's looking at that. Everyone's going to be looking at the reaction after the City game as to what happens. Now, I'm not saying we don't stand a chance against City. I mean, I watched Chelsea and how they've handled City this season. And there are lessons to be learnt there from Pochettino and Chelsea and how they've really affected City's game. I mean, you don't get City flapping and players actually spitting their dummy outs like that often. They're used to winning. And they got done, I thought. They got done by Chelsea at weekend. United can do that. I'm just refusing to go into too much detail because we've got 2 more massive games before that derby. Obviously, Fulham this weekend, Saturday. And then midweek, we've got the FA Cup against Nottingham Forest at the City Ground. So huge games. And if United can go in to the City game in the form that we are, with them victories behind us, then we've got a very good chance. I feel like it's going to have to be more of a Aston Villa performance rather than a Luton performance, though, for us to get anything from City. It's going to have to be one of them workman-like solid performances against Manchester City, like there was against Villa. Sorry, completely forgot what I was saying there then. But yeah, Graham was at the game yesterday as well. Adam, will you upload Graham's vlog? No, I can't. Day is gone, and there was too much content for one day. But Graham will be back on the channel on Saturday, as well as Andy Tate on game day as well, guys. So you don't want to miss that one. Definitely not. But yeah, Graham was sending me videos and sending me voice notes from the game yesterday. The whole experience of Kenilworth Road. I think United, really, when you look at it and how other teams have done there this season, you walk away with a 2-1 win knowing that you missed some gilt-edged chances. We should have had 5 or 6, to be honest. And you come away with a win still. Looking at how other teams have struggled there this season, you still got to be happy, haven't you? You've got to be happy that we've made it 4 in a row. Rasmus, youngest player in history in the Premier League to score in 6 consecutive Premier League games. The man is on fire. He really is. Gutted when he didn't make that hat-trick when the keeper made that great save in the 6-yard box. But we are playing okay. We're having the moments which I feel are a bit nerve-wracking and worrying, like really worrying, but still, I look at it and I go, we are missing some serious chances, and that is always there in the background, isn't it? You've always going to have, we're making chances at least. It's not as much of a concern, because if we're putting them chances away, then we are a different level. We're moving miles ahead. And there were gilt-edged, clear-cut chances that we missed yesterday. Unforgivable one-on-ones, which we didn't take advantage of. And that, for me, is still a massive positive. Yeah, we got the win, having missed 4 or 5 gilt-edged ones. So, yeah, moving forward, I'm going to take that into the City game as well. Like, we are creating chances. We're scoring more goals in 2024. When you look at it, what was it? 2 against Spurs, 4 against Wolves, 3 against West Ham, 2 against Villa and Luton, respectively. And it's better. We are scoring more, which is helping. And obviously, we're still going to have them defensive lapses, so we need all these goals. 1 clean sheet this year, that tells you everything, doesn't it? To have, 4 wins and 1 draw out of 5 games in 2024, conceding loads, but we're still winning games. It means the forwards are finally getting their act together. And it could be even better. It could be even better. Kaz is saying, love seeing the subscriber count on the screen there. You can see all your work and everything you're doing pop up live, guys. It is a live counter, so everyone that does subscribe comes up on the screen now. So thank you so much. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button if you are tuning in for the first time as well. Well over 200 likes, guys. Absolutely smashing it today. Love it. Let's see if we can get to the 250 mark. Well over 550 in the room with us as well. Get your comments coming in and come into the comments section. Ian says, because Erik ten Hag doesn't know how to set up midfield. Maybe. Kobe Mainoo, I thought was something special yesterday again. With a winning mentality, will be a force again, says Jace. Paul Greaves, I will admit that I had my doubts about Rasmus, but I will hold my hands up and admit that I was wrong. Hey, anyone who admits that he's wrong, Paul, that's all it takes. We all have our opinions. We see things that we don't like. We see attributes and attitude issues that we don't like. It's like me yesterday. I didn't like Marcus Rashford in the first half. I thought he was very wasteful, and I thought he had the wrong sort of attitude. But then he brought it back in the second half, and I hold my hands up and say, I'm not going to, because I don't like Rashford and I want him gone in the summer, I'm not going to ignore what he does on the pitch. And the second half, I thought he looked after the ball better. I thought he was more precise, he was more direct, and I thought he was effective in the second half. I'm really unlucky to not score with his left foot. Cutting in from the wing, I thought it was an excellent move, actually, from United, that one. And that would have been one of the goals of the season, by the way. The way we moved that ball out of defence from a tight corner. Rashford took it, cut inside and shot with his left. Great save from the keeper. And that changed the tone of the game yesterday. Because that came from a spell of pressure in early in the second half. Not so much threatening pressure, but territorially Luton were pinning us in. And we broke. We played ourselves out of a tricky situation, and Rashford broke away and cut in. And from that moment, United started to create a lot of chances. So that was like that heavyweight battle where you're getting jabbed and punched and it's hitting the gloves, and all of a sudden the fighter's getting confident, and all of a sudden the opposition just throws one hook and catches them flush, not quite the full one, not the full haymaker that's going to knock them out, but it was just like a warning shot, and they stepped back a little bit. And that's what happened to Luton yesterday. It was like that. I'm sick of this here. Smack. There you go. And it's like, whoa, hang on a minute. Let's be careful here. And then the chances started to come, and the confidence left Luton, I thought. And they just didn't look like they were going to score. I mean, I can't remember a save Onana having to make because of the way we defended in the second half. And people don't look at that. And I wasn't happy with the first half, but the second half, I thought Manchester United dealt with it. So that's why we did the 2 shows yesterday. My reaction was raw and straight after the game, but the breakdown after looking at things back again and taking into note the chances that United missed, the way that we controlled Luton's attacks, and they've scored goals against everyone at Kenilworth Road this season. So let's not take away the achievement that was yesterday for United as well. We've done a double over them. A lot of teams struggle against Luton this season. What did you make of lazy Rashford when Barkley had the ball, looking shocking bad? Back to type a few games after Belfast, says Rory C. Yeah, Rory, first half, I agree, mate. I was really disappointed in him. Some senior players and him being one of them in the first half, but I thought he was better in the second half, Rory. I did. Cheers for the super chat, mate. You have a good point there. He was really petulant in the first half, really annoying, and then I don't know if someone said something to him at half time, whether Ten Hag got into him or not. It definitely worked though, because second half he was better. If I was Bayindir, I would be scratching my head and wanting to leave in the summer. Onana still looking shaky for me. I don't like Onana. I thought he was at fault for the goal, Jim. I did. I really did think he was at fault. And we're hearing that Galatasaray have got Bayindir as their top goalkeeper target for the summer. So they're all in on him for the summer. So you could see what you said there in the comment, Jim, actually happening. He could be out the door. And you wouldn't blame him, would you? He's an international goalkeeper who he's just not going to play while Onana's around. And the way that United treated Onana around AFCON and trying to make him available for games kind of says that really they don't think much of Bayindir. Paps Brady says Rashford doesn't run as much as everyone else. However, he does track back a little bit more. He is what he is, and there isn't much we can do about it. I think all the forwards were tired at the end, to be honest. They all put shifts in. They just didn't finish the dinner. If they'd have finished them chances that they had, they would have had a bit more of a spring in the step. The effort would have looked like it was worth it. But no, when you don't score, it seems like more of a grind, doesn't it? Like, them runs just don't seem to be... You look at it, it's like a waste of time. Why am I doing this? You've got to put them chances in. If you're doing it, then the energy just flows through you. If you're doing it and then you're not scoring and you're having to do it again, you didn't score, it just starts to grind on you a little bit, and it is more tiring. It's mentally tiring as well when you don't put the ball in the back of the net. And I think that's what a lot of United players were dealing with yesterday. If they'd have took a few chances, then it would have been a different game. I think we would have seen a few more substitutes as well. But it was just too tight. It was too tight. And the game really could have gone either way. If anything, I would have said United deserved the win, though, over Luton yesterday. They had the better chances. And if we'd have taken them, we'd have been absolutely walking that game and we'd have smashed them. Adam, keep today's show going for hours so I don't have to plaster the bathroom. Yeah, sorry guys, I can't keep going for hours. I have things I need to do myself as well. Stu, who knows MQN, there has literally been nothing on him. Too bad, as I think he has a good future ahead of him. I don't know what you're talking about there, actually. Mason Greenwood's been offered a new agent. I don't know if that's from Manchester United. That was news coming out today in terms of him needing one in place ready for his permanent move away from United. All the noises coming out right now are of Mason Greenwood needing to find another club. It will be another permanent club as well. He will be leaving United in the summer. So that's where we're at news-wise with Mason Greenwood as well. I think we all knew that this was going to be the case with Mason now. And United can cash in and use that money and reinvest it. But yeah, that's the latest on him. In terms of injury news, I'm still waiting to hear from the Luke Shaw situation and another injury for him. But past that, we're looking not too bad. Malacia, I think, is the next player to come back. Mason Mount, again, it's like a mystery, isn't it? the Mount Mystery, we'll call it. That's what it is. But that pretty much is everything, guys. Cheers for tuning in. Love that show. Love all the comments. Love that we can break down the argument in a different way as well with Ineos. And your comments alongside everything worked really well today, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you get your comments in on the video when it drops out on a video on YouTube as well, guys. Please give the video a like. We're just about to hit the 250 mark there, guys. Thank you so much. Please make sure you download partnership app, which is SofaScore as well. It all goes towards helping the channel and all goes to building the channel to be better and bring you the better content, guys. The best sporting app out there for all of your clubs' news, score updates, match days, transfer news coming up as well, injury news and everything. It has every single team covered around Europe. Brilliant app. Drop in the description. Click on the link there, SofaScore. It's the top link in the description, or scan that QR code on the bottom right hand corner of your screen there where you can see the blue SofaScore mark, guys. Thank you very much. A super chat just in at the end there from Damo. It says, "Hi Adam, sorry I've been away with illness, so I'm not unsure. Sorry I've been away with illness, so I'm not unsure. Are you still on United Stand, or is this you going on your own way?" Yeah, left United Stand in October, Damo. But really appreciate you coming across and checking, especially with a super chat, Damo. I hope you're feeling well as well. Hope it wasn't too bad and you're on the mend, my friend. But yeah, if you want to see me and my content and everything that we've got coming forward on the channel, then this is the place to be. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you've got your bell notification on as well for all the upcoming content on Forever United TV. But that is it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll be back at 6:30 tonight. I'll see you all then. Have a great rest of your day.